and worse things than a sack, And I thought the third one was just an unbelievably bad luck play for us, lucky play for them. I mean, the guy made a good play, but you can live with one of those once in a while. But the first two, very preventable, and we need to definitely just eat it and play the next down. Yep.
How do you grade Braden Kimes' tackling?
That was a huge play. I'm glad you pointed that out, because we showed that clip in the team meeting. Where it shows a lot of character. You go make the tackle. It's easy to hang your head right there and be bummed about the play. Go make a tackle. Our defense makes a great stop, and we end up winning the game. So that was a huge play.
If the two running backs can't go, it's been helpful.
Yeah.
What is your plan, and what is your confidence level in the guys behind them?
They're not going to play. They're not ready. So we'll play Miles, okay, and Enoch Nawahine, and then we have Sione Moa and Pokai ready to go as well. So those will be the four guys that travel, and there's a chance all four could play. You'll see a good dose of Miles and Enoch, and then the other two are ready to play, and good chance they'll be in.
Do you have to weigh kind of that 4-game redshirt rule at all, or is that out the window?
That's out the window now. I think we're at the point now where you got to play who you need to play to win. It's too competitive to try to hold people back.
When you're in a situation, Jake said after the game he didn't have his best game.
Yeah.
But you want him to stay confident and know that you're confident in him. But how do you gauge when to make a change? Do you have a process in your mind, or is it a feel thing, or when the team needs a spark? I'm just wondering how you approach that.
Well, the most important thing is we were always still in a good position to win the game. And so no one has a license to just make mistakes at any position indefinitely. But we were always in a good position to win the game. He did make a lot of good plays in the game as well. There were some things in that game that were outstanding. But, yeah, I mean, I'll just say no one has a license to just play poorly forever. But he did a lot of good things as well.
Does that mean you wouldn't hesitate to turn to Gary if he struggles again?
Yeah, we have trust in Gary, and but we didn't think about changing in that game. We were always in good position to win. Felt like a couple of those mistakes were, they're things very preventable. We need to protect the ball better for sure. But there was a lot going on. Sometimes it isn't always perfectly readily obvious to everyone who's watching.
Yeah. How do you think your offensive line has performed through 2 games?
We're improving. I thought, we didn't run the ball well at all in the first half last game. And then in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, we found we ran it better. And we had some timely big runs. Those 2 4th-down conversions were huge. And then our pass protection, we were concerned about pass pro in that game. That was an excellent defense with a very good pass rush. And I thought Caleb and Braden Kime especially really hemmed up their DNs in that game and kept them away from the QB for the most part. The only pressure they really got was we blew a protection at one time, a blitz pickup that didn't involve the O-line once. But yeah, I think the O-line is improving, and we just need to keep getting better.
I was just curious what the Wyoming game means to you, just the history as a player and as a coach and having faced them over the years. What does that mean to you?
First of all, every game in college football is huge. There's so much riding on every game, and you have to approach every single week the same way. And then going to Laramie, I've been trying to impress upon these guys that we're going to get their very, very best, and they will play their best. Their fans will be into it, and this will be a hostile environment. They beat Texas Tech at home last year. I've been up there a number of times and been in some really tough dogfight games. Lost a couple times there when I was up the road at Utah, and once here when I was GA. So been trying to make sure our players understand what they're up against.
Do you like those games? Maybe a little extra added edge to it, some of these types of contests.
Well, I think again, to me, every week has the same edge. I mean, if you respect every opponent the same way and you prepare every single week the same way, then you gain an appreciation for how hard every game is to win. In some weeks it's easy, some easier than others, but it's every week's huge. Every week's huge.
Have you enjoyed the helmet communication between you and the quarterback, and how has that changed things at all for the way that you call the game?
Yeah, I'm loving it. Yeah, I think every quarterback coach in every play caller in the country would say the same thing. It's nice.
Does it provide time to make a call and then add anything that you
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you can add a little reminder. I try not to. I don't want to talk too much and bog him down with too many thoughts, but yes, you can You can make some little reminders to your QB at times. Yep.
What are you seeing from Wyoming's defense this year?
Well, we only have 2 games, so it's not a large body of work, and Arizona State jumped on them really early, and I don't know how they got such good field position because I haven't watched the offense, but ASU's offense started with unbelievable field position several times. I'm assuming those were turnovers or special teams plays, but ASU got off to such a fast start. It was almost like part of that film is like hard to even evaluate. But I just going historically on how they've been. It's been the same defense they've been running, and they're very good at it. Everyone's in their gap. Everybody knows what they're doing. They're very disciplined and tough, physically tough. And I think the most points they gave up last season was 31 or 32, something like that. So and I think that was a double overtime game against Texas Tech, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they're a good defense.
Besides LJ and Falau, did you come out of that SMU game healthy for the rest of the offense?
I think we did. Yeah, I might be forgetting someone, but I think so. Pretty sure that's correct. Yeah.
You guys good? Okay.
Yep.
Thanks,
Yep.
Coach.
Thanks,
Coach.
guys.
Good luck this week.
Appreciate it.
Let me guess, the change in quarterbacks.
Yeah, you missed it.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Hadn't talked to you for a couple of days, so you know.
Ah.
Start out with an easy one. How you feeling after the SMU game, health-wise? You come out of it pretty much unscathed?
Yeah, pretty much. I feel good. Happy with that win, and yeah, body feels really good.
We're talking to A-Rod about ball security. He said a couple of things were preventable. How do you adjust just to try and make sure that those types of things, you and the offense, don't happen moving forward?
Just learn from everything that happened, and then come out better the next week. And that's kind of what I've been doing all week this week, and what we're going to do on Saturday.
On the one turnover, it looked like their defensive lineman fell down. Was he out of your vision and you just didn't see him? Is that kind of what happened there?
Yeah, that was probably one of the luckier interceptions I've ever seen in my life.
You were behind Braden when he made the stick on the screen pass on the interception. Were you glad he made the tackle so you didn't have to?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how I was going to bring that guy down. I didn't know how. I'm glad Braden made a perfect form tackle to get him on the ground for sure.
Have you done anything extra this week to prevent turnovers, or done anything like some people suggest carrying a football to class and stuff like that? Have you done anything like that?
Nothing that dramatic, no. Of course, it's definitely something that we're emphasizing this week, just all around, and so definitely picking it up in that end, but mostly just worried about getting this game plan down for Wyoming on Saturday.
Do you know much about this Wyoming series and the history between these two programs?
Not enough. Although I do know to not leave the locker room without a helmet on is what I hear, the number one thing I hear. But I know it's a storied rivalry through the Mountain West days, and I know there's a good likelihood it's one of the last times we're going up there. And so I'm excited to go up there. And they're a tough team. They're a tough physical team. They always play us tough. And so I'm excited to go up there and go kick their butt.
How much fun are games with that little edge of a rivalry or those elements when the fans really get into it like that?
Yeah, really fun. They're definitely really fun. You get the extra energy, the extra juice. Usually regular game days have a lot of juice, but those rivalries seem to somehow have more. And so it's definitely really more fun.
They've changed coaches, but they've hung their hat on their defense for years now. What do you see from them on tape?
Yeah, it's a physical group. You know, it's Wyoming. They're always going to be a physical group. They're always going to play tough. They're always going to give BYU their best. There's no doubt. So we're ready for them to come out physical, and we're going to try to be more physical than them and attack them in areas where we think we're going to have a lot of success.
Jake, what
is it about this connection you're establishing with Tava Tase in back-to-back games? Obviously with the touchdown for a guy who he had a little bit of rep last year, as you know, as sort of that blocking tight end, I guess. So what's kind of he done, I guess, to just get open and sort of establish himself as a
Tava's an incredible player who's making plays left and right. I didn't, if you asked me who would have 2 touchdowns after 2 games receiving the ball, I don't know if I would have picked Tava, but we're glad that he did. I mean, A-Rod's drawn up some incredible plays for him and the tight ends in our pass game. All of our tight ends can receive the ball really well, and that's what we love about them is they can do so many things so well. There's not a guy who I don't want to throw the ball to or not a guy that I don't trust blocking for me. So I love how, just great our tight ends are, and Coach Gilbride does a good job coaching them up.
No LJ, no Hinckley this week. How does that affect you at all, if at all?
It does. I mean, you saw when Enoch came in and Miles came in at the end of the game, there was no change. There was no hiccups. There was nothing. And so we know those guys are ready behind them, and they've shown it this week in practice. Those guys have both practiced really hard, and so we're excited to see what they can do on Saturday.
Are you willing to take on more running role if you have to in that regard?
I mean, always am, right? Like I think you guys saw it last week in the second half. I ran the ball more when I needed to get the quarterback run game going. So I'm always ready to get the quarterback run game going. Just wait for A-Rod to call my number, and I'm cool for it. I also love throwing the ball. So
you only get so many opportunities on the D-ball just because of the nature of what defenses do. When you go back and watch film and see a couple of near misses, I know there were a couple against SMU. What do you do? Because the margin of error on those is usually pretty thin.
Yeah, you just keep working it with the guys, right? You just keep getting after it, getting to the next game plan and getting to the next deep ball. What's it going to be? We hit a couple in practice yesterday really nicely, and so excited to see if we can throw it downfield against these guys on Saturday.
Anything else? Okay.
Guys good?
All right.
Sweet.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.